Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the rock and roll version of the Raw Unscripted show, where I, Christopher Rausch, your no excuses coach, am I bring you the best in what it means to take care of yourself, what it means to have a kick-ass, unstoppable life. Thank you guys for joining us. We are live every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's your place right now because today's show is all about you, the listener. And I went back and I looked through all of the episodes I've done, which were 330 episodes. And I looked through and I've done very little talking about health. I've done a bunch talking about mental health, men's mental health, women's mental health. We've definitely talked about that. But tonight we're going to be talking about mental health and physical health and maybe a little bit of spiritual health, because what I'm finding is I'm hearing from you guys, my customers, my clients, people on social media who reach out to me via TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. And it seems that people are not taking care of themselves and they're wondering why they're burned out. They're wondering why they feel like shit. They're wondering why they have no energy. They're wondering why they have the brain fog. They're wondering why they're not getting enough sleep. They wonder why they're short. So tonight's episode is called Self-Care or Self-Sabotage. And I want to read you something that I wrote that I put on the podcast promo. It says, one day, your body or your mind is going to send you a bill for all the times you put yourself last. The question is, are you going to pay with it regret later or invest in yourself now? So I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to think about this very seriously. Who do you love most in this world? Now, your first response should be me. I love myself. But most of you guys won't say that. Why? Because that seems selfish. That seems self-centered. That seems egotistical. That seems all these different things that we're told as kids to put other people first. You got to think about other people's feelings first. You have to put other people first. All that different stuff that we heard as kids. And so what do? We put everybody else first and we put ourselves last. And we think that somehow, some way we're going to fill our bucket. But usually it winds up resulting in a crash of the adrenals, which I experienced twice because I put other people and everything else in front of my own needs and I burned myself out twice. And so how do you recover from that? You don't get to take pills. You don't get to do anything. You have to rest. And so I had to do that. So throughout my life, there have been moments in my life where God, source, universe, life has tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, Chris, you need to take better care of yourself. Little shove on the shoulder. Hey, Chris, you need to take better care of yourself. A complete body slam against a brick wall. Hey, Chris, you're going to take care of yourself. And now let me tell you something. Since I was 18 years old, I've been going to a gym. I've been taking vitamins, supplements. I've been working out. I've been taking my health pretty seriously. I drink lots of water, but over the years, I've taken pain medication. I've drank excessively. I've done some drugs. And so there's aspects of this that I have abused my body. But I really want you to think about this. Again, going back to that question, who do you love the most? You probably said, oh, my son, my daughter, my best friend, my mom, my dad, my husband, my dog, whoever it might be. So let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love that person? Most likely you're saying, Chris, a 10. I love my son, a 10. I love my dad, the 10. I love my husband, the 10. I love my mom, the 10. I love my best friend, the 10. So here's the kicker. And I really want you to consider this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well are you taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually? Now, here's the tough part. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to say, you know what, Chris, I'm probably a 7. Well, you don't get to pick 7 because a lot of people pick 7 because it's just above midway, but it's not quite great. And it sounds like you're doing a good job because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to sit there and say, you know what, it's really a 3. Jesus Christ, I beat myself up with the things I say to myself. I put shitty stuff into my body. I stress myself out. I take on other people's problems. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a doormat. I've been doing all this for all my life and I'm just tired of it. So I invite you to be sick and tired right now. I invite you to create the leverage now so you don't regret it later, like I said before. Because ultimately, I've seen lots and lots of people wear it as a badge of honor and not get sleep and not take care of themselves. And, oh, my blood test and my blood pressure and my diabetes, everything is good, Chris. And then they get into their 40s and their 50s, and then they get type 2 diabetes. And they say, oh, you know what? I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. But meanwhile, they're taking pills and they're still eating bad and they're still manifesting the negative effects of what happens when you don't take care of yourself. So here's the thing. You have to take proactive responsibility. You have to. Your life depends on it. And I've seen people who love everybody else and take care of everybody else, but then they start falling down and then they can't take care of the people that they want to take care of. And then they feel guilty and then they feel bad. Then they feel like they let the people down. And then the negative vicious cycle just continues. And guess what they do? They go to their short-term gratifications to escape. this feeling. So they go to their Netflix, they go to their TikTok, they go to their food, they go to their alcohol, they go to their porn, they go to their drugs, they go to their gambling, they go to whatever it is that will take their mind off their current reality. So if you're within earshot or you're watching this on YouTube, this is your reality. You're getting older and your body's going to wear down. It's going to oxidize. There's going to be stress. And then you're going to start having little problems. And I want you to think about this. Is it worth one day getting a diagnosis from your doctor that says you have cancer? You have heart disease. You just had a stroke, Mr. Smith, right? So think about that, the proactiveness and what it is that you're going to do. For me, there have been a few times in my life where I've had to put myself first. And you guys, if you've been with me for any length of time, you know that I was a homeless 7th grade dropout at the age of 13, and that I experienced a lot of tragic things between 13 and 17. And I tried to kill myself twice. Unfortunately, I sucked at it. I had a gun put to my head and I told the guy to pull the fucking trigger. But at 17 years old, something happened. And I realized that my life was going to end up in one of three ways. I was going to wind up dead. I was going to wind up in jail, or I was going to wind up being successful because I took responsibility for my life. And at that moment, all I wanted to do was prove to my mom and show my mom and get her a validation and her approval and to be able to get us out of that situation. But it just wasn't in the cards. My mother was not taking care of herself. She was not taking care of me. She was living in an egoic place in her mind where she thought she was all this and a bag of chips, and she wasn't. So she was mentally not well. And so for me to have the expectation that she at 17 years old, somehow, some way, she didn't do it in the last 4 years. She didn't really do it all during my childhood. How was I to expect that somehow, some way she was going to get her shit together and allow me to have a good life? You have to take responsibility. So if you're in a relationship, if you're in a friendship, if your relationship with yourself, if you're toxic to yourself, this is a wake-up call to stop it. To stop it. If you talk to yourself, if the way you talk to yourself isn't the way you would talk to anybody else, right? I wouldn't let somebody talk to my son or my daughter like that, but you allow yourself to talk to yourself like that. It's time to wake up. And so what we're going to be talking about here is tangible ways in how you, my friend, can change what it is that you've got going on in your life. And so I'm going to bring up this document. I've got some pretty helpful shit for you tonight. So I want you to take notes and take action, right? So when I think about that, there was that story at 17 years old. There was also the story at 23 years old where I went through a divorce. And I realized, again, after 5 years of being married and being in a very comfortable situation and being taken care of and being loved and all this different stuff, it just wasn't working out. It wasn't working out for either one of us. So at 23 years old, I went through a divorce. Again, I had to protect my space. I wasn't going to stay in a relationship that wasn't working. I didn't want to do that for her. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted me to be happy. But guess what? I had to go through some hell at 23 years old. 17 years old, made that switch, created a lot of positive momentum in my life. But then at 23 years old, I was miserable. And so at 23 years old, for a year, I stayed by myself. I didn't have any friends, really. I went to the gym. I went to my job. I went to school. I took care of myself. I went for bike rides and I worked on myself. I got away from the toxicity and I wound up reinventing myself and getting to know and love myself for who I was at 23. There's that. You know, there's so many other stories in my life where even in 2016, when I had it all figured out and had a great job and making six figures and coaching and speaking and traveling and podcasting and radios and all that other stuff, I went for a walk one day and realized, Chris, are you happy? Yes or no? And I said, no. And I'm like, Chris, what are you doing to change it? Nothing. I'm taking it all on myself. I don't want to bother anybody. I'm the big, strong guy. I'm the motivational speaker. I'm the life coach. I'm the guy that's been through all that shit. I'm here for everybody else. I want to prove to everybody else that they can do it in their life. So I have to show them. I have to prove them. I can't be weak. But in 2016, that's when I tattooed on my forearm, what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. What doesn't kill me only makes me stronger, because at that point, and I still say it to this day, every day is a new day. And what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. So if you believe that everything's going to make you stronger, then guess what? You're going to be stronger. But if you realize that everything's tearing you down, if you're saying it's all tearing me down, it's breaking me down, I'm wearing out, your body, your subconscious, everything will look for facts to support that. So I invite you to sit there and take a step back and start doing things in a progressive manner. Start taking the action that you need to take, because otherwise, when you get to the end of your story, are you going to look back in your life and be proud of the accomplishments that you took? Are you going to be glad about the fears that you overcame? Are you going to be glad that you took care of your body? Or if you get a diagnosis of cancer or liver failure or kidney failure or whatever it is that could be within your control, are you going to be happy that you didn't take care of yourself? Or are you going to be regretful? Are you going to think, oh my God, now I'll eat my vegetables? I've seen so many people get these diagnoses and all of a sudden they start taking better care of themselves. You don't have to wait until the door hits you in the face, guys. Perhaps right now is what you need to be looking at. And I'm going to give you the very simple basics of physical health, mental health, and actions you can take. And it's really important you stay until the actions you can take, because I've got some new technology that you can use. And so I did a little research on this, and I'm providing you the goods on what it is that you can do. So when you think about your physical health, if you're not in any physical shape right now whatsoever, here are the 5 things I want you to focus on. I want you to write these down. I call it the 5: hydration, nutrition, sleep, exercise, and vitamin D. Again, hydration, water, nutrition, sleep, exercise, and vitamin D. Those. If you notice on this hand, for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, this hand has a ring on it. It's not my wedding ring on this side. It's my Aura ring. So let's just start from the top. So hydration. Half your weight in ounces for your body weight. So if you're 210 pounds, you want to drink 105 ounces of water. Now, that's what I think. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor. Go look online, but your body is like 80% water. So if you're not drinking H2O, if you're not drinking water every day, guess what? You're dehydrated. And if your body's 80% water and you're not drinking any water and you don't have the water in your system, are your systems functioning properly? Are they functioning at their best? Oh my God, Chris, I'm so tired and I've got so much brain fog and I can't remember things. How much water are you drinking? Nah, I don't drink water. I drink coffee. I drink soda. Okay. Well, let's just do a test. Let's just do a test. For the next 30 days, you up your water intake by half. So if you drink 2 glasses of water a day, let's drink 4 glasses of water a day. If you drink no glasses of water, drink 2 glasses of water a day. Start hydrating. You'll notice your skin starts feeling better. You know, your cognition will start to come online. Your sleep will improve. All sorts of things will happen. Your kidneys will work better. Your systems will work better. But I don't like water, Chris. Guess what, guys? I put Propel in my water. There are flavorings. You could put lemon in your water. You could put things in your water to make it taste better so that you make sure you get your water intake every day. And I promise you, after a couple of weeks, if not sooner, you hydrate your body, you start feeling better. You start feeling replenished. You just imagine if you woke up and you felt good, right? You just start feeling good. So the hydration is one. Nutrition is another one. I had somebody recently, I couldn't believe it. They said, Chris, I don't know how to eat healthy. We're going to be talking about that and how you can learn how to eat healthy, how you can learn to do anything for free. But again, that nutrition factor. Are you eating nutrition? Oh, Chris, I don't like my greens. Well, then get AG1. There's tons and tons of supplements. The supplements aren't as good as the real thing. I know this because I take supplements, but I also eat green vegetables and I also eat my protein and I take whey protein and I take all sorts. I can't even add up all the different supplements I take. But so when you start getting the nutrition, so you've got your hydration, you've got your nutrition. Yes, Chris. Oh, I can't afford to eat better. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because can you afford not to? And how often do we ask that question? Can I afford not to eat healthy? Can I afford to get sick and disappoint my family and let my family down? Can I afford to pay for the doctor's visits? And can I afford to pay for the medication? And can I afford to pay for the procedures? Health insurance here in the United States sucks. The healthcare system sucks. And so what I'm going to tell you tonight is that you have to take responsibility. You can't put it on the doctors. You can't put it on the nurses. You can't put it on the medical institutions. You have to take proactive response for yourself. So you got hydration, you got nutrition, you got sleep. Again, Aura ring. Spend a couple $100 on yourself, get an Aura ring and wake up every day and look at your deep sleep, look at your REM sleep, look at your heart rate, look at your HRV, look at your oxygen level, right? I found out when you eat after, like for me, I eat after 7 or 8 o'clock, my deep sleep sucks. Because I found out because your body's digesting, it's sending energy to your stomach, your heart rate doesn't go down. And when your heart rate doesn't go down, guess what? You don't go into deep sleep. Oh, Chris, that sounds so complicated. It's not really that complicated. I just went on and I biohacked sleep and I started watching YouTube videos. This was years ago. And I'm like, how can I improve my sleep? If I can improve my sleep by 20%, if I could just get a little bit more deep sleep, if I could just get, instead of just being light sleep, if I can get 5 hours instead of 4 hours on a consistent basis, that extra hour, can I get 6 hours? Right? Hydration, sleep, nutrition. You start building, you start stacking, right? And that's what this is about. Not one thing is going to change anything. You have to start stacking. You have to start taking that responsibility for what you're putting into your body. What are you putting into your thoughts? What are you putting into your heart? What are you putting into your stomach? How are you expending your energy? Right? I learned through COVID, I didn't go to the gym. The gyms were closed. All I did was walk every day. And I was shocked. I didn't gain any weight and I felt pretty fucking good. All I did was walk. I lost a lot of muscle mass, which sucks. Then I finally put a home gym in my house. But walking every single day, cardiovascular, mindset, opportunity to think, opportunity to not be distracted, or to listen to a podcast or listen to a YouTube video every single day. If you go walk for 45 minutes and you listen to a podcast about your health and you apply one thing every single day, just imagine how different your life would be in 30 days. Oh my God, I started eating some greens. Oh my God, I stopped eating sugar after 6 o'clock. Oh my God, I stopped eating so much chocolate. Oh my God, I stopped drinking soda. I used to drink 2-liter bottle of soda a day, a 2-liter bottle of warm soda every single day in my 20s. And then one day I realized what soda really does, because somebody told me to pour the soda on a battery, it'll eat the acid. Somebody told me to put a penny inside of a bottle of soda, right? There's so many different things you could do with soda. It's bad for you guys. You just got to say, is it good for me? No. I can have a Coke every once in a while. I probably have a Coke or a soda or a Sprite or something like that, maybe once or twice a week. And I don't even drink the whole thing. I just went to Del Taco this morning and got myself a Del Taco chicken and salsa, like basically a meat and veggie burrito. And of course, I got French fries that came with it. I had half of the French fries and I had probably a quarter of the Coke, but I ate the whole entire burrito and then I tossed the rest. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need that stuff. I don't need to eat it. I don't need to have the mindset, oh, I'm wasting it. No, I leave food on my plate. It's okay. It's okay to do that. Oh, you got to eat everything off your plate. There's people starving in India. There's still going to be people starving. Donate some money, donate your time, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. So you got hydration, nutrition, sleep, and of course, I just talked about exercise. Are you raising your heart rate? My Apple Watch, I put it on the workout mode and it shows me my heart rate. It shows me how long I've been working out. I used a polar heart rate monitor forever that told me my high end heart rate, my medium heart rate, and my low heart rate. So what do you need to do to get that extra workout? Are you pushing yourself into 80% of your total heart rate? Right? Do that. Start pushing yourself. Start feeling that sense of accomplishment. If you're walking a block, walk 2 blocks. If you can walk, you're walking slow, start to walk a little bit more brisker. Think about it this way. If you were in a walking race and you were racing for $1 million, would you walk that slow or would you walk with intention? Now, I walk with some people who walk really fucking fast. I'm like, you're damn near running, but they're in great physical condition. They're in great mental condition because they're pushing themselves. They're getting that oxygen in your brain. Now, I will tell you this, and this is kind of off the beaten path a little bit. Most of us are shallow breathers. And so if you're not getting enough oxygen in your system, if your blood is not carrying that oxygen through your system, guess what? You're going to feel like shit. But you start getting that cardiovascular breath in. That's why people go and they work out and they feel so much better afterwards, because they got a bunch of oxygen in their system. You got your system flowing. You got your arteries moving, man. You got your circulation going. So you got your hydration, you got your nutrition, you got a good night's sleep, you got some exercise, you're feeling good. The next thing is vitamin D. Most people are vitamin D deficient. And so vitamin D plays a role in your mental mood. So oftentimes they say get 10 minutes of exercise or get 10 minutes of sunshine, and that's your vitamin D allotment. I did that. I did more than that. And then I took a deficiency test and I found out I was deficient in vitamin D3, I think. And so I'm like, I get plenty of sunshine every single day. I go out for like a 20, 30-minute walk in the sunshine. I stand in the sun. I make sure my skin gets the sun. It wasn't enough. For some reason, my body wasn't creating and absorbing it. So I started taking a once a week vitamin D supplement. Guess what? My mental health started to improve. I started to feel better. And guess what? When you feel better, you do more. And when you do more, it all builds upon itself. It builds that self-confidence, right? I'm guessing right now you may not have a lot of self-confidence in the areas you need to, like in taking care of yourself. It is self-love. It's not being selfish. So you start taking care of those 5: hydration, nutrition, sleep, exercise, and vitamin D. Guess how you're going to feel? And it's not going to be overnight. Well, Chris, I've been doing it. Do you feel 20% better? Okay, then let's continue doing these other things that I'm going to talk about, right? Look into supplements. I take enough supplements to choke on, right? I will show you this. These are some of my supplements. I refill them every week. And truth be told, I just added 4 supplements to my regimen. I added ferrous fumarate for it, which is for I got diagnosed with anemia. So oxygen in my blood cells isn't happening. So I'm doing that. I'm doing a couple other things. I'm doing some chlorophyll drops. I'm doing some bee polus, not bee honey, but bee polus. I'm doing these things. So I've added those to my regimen as of last week. 5 new supplements. So is it happening overnight? No. Do I expect it to? No. But again, if I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, ultimately I may look in 45 days and go, holy shit, man, I feel like the fog is lifted. So what can you do? I invite you, like if you're pushing like a 5 or a 6, what would it be like if I pushed myself to a 7? What would it be like if I got up a little bit earlier and started my day with some exercise? Oh, Chris, I'm not a morning person. Are you a sick person? Are you a dying person? Are you a person that potentially have regrets? Right? Who are you doing this for? For me, I have an 8-year-old son that I want to live another 30 years. I want to be here for when he's married and has kids of his own and says, Dad, I need some advice. I don't want to think about myself dying at 58 because I didn't take care of myself, because I didn't go get my blood test, because I didn't get my colonoscopy. Recently, if you guys have been following me, I just had an upper endoscopy, which I asked for and paid for, which is the camera that goes through your mouth into your stomach, checked my esophagus and my stomach lining, found out it was inflamed, did the colonoscopy, which is the camera up the other end, found out I had a polyp. They took it. They said it was non-cancerous. So yeah, is it uncomfortable? Yeah, was the preparation hard? Of course, all these things, and it cost me money, but it also gave me a peace of mind to say, hey, at 56 years old, I'm still rocking it. And here's another thing I'll give you a tip for. I just signed up for functionhealth.com. This is not an advertiser or a sponsor of the show. Functionhealth.com. For less than $500, I was able to secure myself a big panel of blood tests right now, and then a follow-up panel of blood tests. Over 100 tests, I think 150 tests. I also did a test. It's the Grail test, I think it is. It's basically they test for 5 cancers. I also paid to have a celiac disease done again because I'm celiac intolerant. I really don't eat a lot of gluten. But if you read the book Wheat Belly, guess what? You're going to find out that the genetic modification of wheat and the genetic modification of corn is not good for our systems. So what can you do, right? I found out that I can eat a cauliflower crust pizza. Some people might say, oh my God, that's not real pizza. No, so guess what? Pizza's pizza. Put some vegetables on it. Tastes good. It's not the exact same thing, but guess what? After a while, you're just going to appreciate it and you're going to get used to it. So you can still have those things. And I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not a cook. I don't prepare stuff, but my wife does. And I'll send her recipes, or she'll find ways to make brownies without any sugar. She uses honey. She uses whatever it might be, and not even the illegal sweeteners. She'll figure it. There are ways to make stuff that is sweet, and to have cookies, and to have certain things. But also you can just have a cookie in moderation. You don't need 17 cookies. You can have one cookie. Right? And maybe it's not every single day. Maybe it's on Friday and Saturday nights. Tonight's my night to have a cookie. Tonight's my night to have a brownie. I used to subscribe to the aspect of you do great for 6 days and you could do anything on the 7th day. And I did that for a long time. It's the 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. Talked about that. Totally worked. On the 7th day, I could have breakfast burritos and chocolate and whatever, and I would be fine. So I would have something to look forward to. But I wouldn't abuse my body in the meantime. But I did functional health, and actually yesterday and today, they took 14. Yesterday, they took, I think, 8 vials of blood. Vials of blood. Yeah. Am I a little concerned about the test they're doing? They're doing more tests than my doctor will ever do. My doctor, you don't need that test. You don't need that test. My doctor says, oh, your TSH level is fine. That's your thyroid stimulating hormone. Well, guess what? There's T3, there's T4. It's how it converts. There's a lot more to your thyroid than that. So if your thyroid is not functioning well, but you're within the range and you still feel like shit, do not accept that. I went to an endocrinologist down in Laguna Hills here in Southern California, one of the top rated. And I went with her. I showed her evidence and I showed her all this different stuff. And we had a conversation. You have to fight for your healthcare. And now when you get your blood test, I don't know if you know this, if you go through Quest, I'm not sure about the other ones, LabCorp or whatever, but you can see your results over a period of time. Well, Chris, I don't understand that stuff. Guess what? I don't understand what AST is and ALT and pneumocytes and all this other stuff. All I did was sat there and I had my blood test on one side and I had the Googles on another. And I said, what are lymphocytes? What is this? What is this? What is this? And I would ask Google, what does it mean when this one's high and this one's low? Right? They're all within range. And that's what your doctor's going to say. You're in range. The thing I have with range is like, okay, I'm a 56-year-old male. How is my range the same for a 23-year-old woman? How is that all the same? It seems ridiculous. Not only that, I argued with my doctor and I said, okay, I might be within the range, but let's look at the range over a period of time. And that's what I did with this anemia shit. And since 2017, 2018, my numbers have been slowly declining. the oxygen in my blood, the red blood cells, all this different stuff. And I'm like, that's why I've been feeling like shit. Asked my doctor. I said, what caused it? He goes, you have an iron deficiency. I'm like, no, I don't think so. But that's all he told me. He didn't even give me anything. He didn't prescribe anything. So I had to reach out to some of my friends. Have you ever dealt with this? Unfortunately, two of my friends did, and they were able to send me the supplements that helped them, which is what I have here. So what is it for you? What are you not taking responsibility for? What are you pushing off on medicine and allowing that to be, oh, I just have to take this stuff. I have to take a blood pressure. I have to take a statin. I have to take this. I have to take that. Again, I'm not a doctor, but maybe you don't. Maybe you don't need to take that and deal with the 17 side effects, because I know somebody who's on something like 17 different medicines because one medicine treats another thing, treats another thing, treats another thing, treats another thing. And I'm like, would you rather to go back and just deal with the symptoms of the original thing, or are you happy dealing with all the side effects of these different pills? Well, I don't like this, but I don't feel like there's anything I can do. My doctor told me I need to be on it for the rest of my life. Do you really? Have you gotten a second opinion? When I ask people, have you ever gotten a second opinion on your test? Have you ever gone to an expert, right? Who's an expert? The endocrinologist, not your general medicine doctor, right? Why do we see an orthopedic surgeon rather than brain surgeon? Because they're a specialist in their area. Oh, Chris, that takes money. That takes time. Yes, but are you worth it? And if you immediately don't think that you're worth it, then you have a lot more stuff to do on the mental health side, right? So check out Function Health. I'm excited about it. I'm a little scared. They go through it. They use AI. They give you recommendations. It's a battery of tests. The hormones, they're doing way more hormones. They're doing my testosterone, my estrogen, my cortisol. So this is going to be exhaustive. My doctor didn't think I need those tests. He goes, you don't need all that stuff, Chris. Yeah. Well, you're not helping me feel any better. So I'm going to take responsibility on my own. So you got to do that. And again, like I said before, look at your blood test. When I ask people, do they really look at their blood test? Most people don't. Oh yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, you should. Like, take responsibility for. I used to put it into an Excel spreadsheet and then track it myself over a period of time. And I'm not a doctor. I like medicine and I like learning about it, but I just took responsibility because my doctor's not. And that's what I'm telling you. Take a look at your medicines. Get a second opinion, and then also take a look at who in your life lives a life that you're inspired by. Who inspires you by the way they take care of themselves? Who inspires you by the way they love themselves? Who inspires you? And then ask yourself the question, like, what is it that they're doing? What shifted for them? And how can I be a little bit more like them? How can I be a little bit more like Bob? How can I be a little bit more like Helen? Could I reach out to Bob and Helen and say, hey, you know what? I'm having a tough time. I would love to have you as an accountability partner to help me get a little bit stronger. I'm feeling a little weak. I'm not sure knowing exactly what to do. So I would love it if maybe we could be accountability partners for 6 weeks. Maybe I could do a challenge with you. Let's do a challenge to not have any soda over the next 6 weeks, not have any sugar over the next 6 weeks, increase our water intake over the next 6 weeks. Let's pick 3 things to do to challenge ourselves every day before 10 o'clock. Let's check in with ourselves. Hey, did you drink your water? Hey, did you go for your walk? Hey, did you do your journaling? Right? So who inspires you? Because it's super important for you to get an accountability partner, to have somebody in your life to be excited about, to go to the gym with, to go on walks with, to go talk with, to check in, at the end of the week. How did you do? Did you get all your steps in? My mother-in-law every day tries to get 4,000 steps in. She's 83. 4,000 steps. Oh my God, Chris, it's a lot. Yeah. But if you can do it, when you do it, and you go to bed at night and you feel accomplished, you feel proud. I'm proud of the things that I did today. I'm proud of how I put myself first. I'm proud of how I talked to myself today. I stopped beating myself up. I started looking in the mirror and saying, Christopher, you're fucking worth it. You're unstoppable. You're a piece of art in the making, right? Instead of like saying, oh, you're a failure, this, you're that. Your negative self-talk is ruining you. And you deserve better. You do. Irregardless of whatever's happening in your life, you're here today and I'm here talking to you, and that means something. So that's what I've got on physical health. Let's go to mental health. This is an important one. And this goes along with the conversation we've been having tonight. You got to be honest. You have to be honest. In a moment, I'm going to be giving you some actions you can take after this broadcast that I really want you to do. And then I want you to send me an email, info@noexcusescoach.com or Christopher@ChristopherRausch.com, or on any of the social medias. Send me something. But you got to be honest with yourself. Are you happy in this relationship? Yes or no? Are you happy in your job? Yes or no? No, I'm not. But Chris, I need my job. I've been there for, okay. But are you doing anything to change your education? Are you doing anything to increase your skill level? Are you doing anything to look for a different job? And most people are not. They're stuck and they're settling. They're settling for mediocrity. So you ask yourself this question: when did it become okay to be mediocre? When did it become okay to be acceptable? When did it become okay not to set the example for my kids to follow? Do as I say, not as I do, right? What kind of example are you setting for your friends, for your family, for your kids, for whoever it might be in your life? And that starts with that honesty. Am I happy in my relationship? No. Okay. Have I communicated that to my partner? No. I ask people all the time, have you communicated to your boss? Have you communicated to your friend that they never reach out to you? Have you communicated to your customer that they constantly take advantage of you? Or communicated to your kids they don't do what you ask them to do? No. Why? Oh, it's too much bother. I've tried it before and it didn't work. Okay. How about trying it differently? Right? Because if push came to shove and you were debilitated tomorrow and you had to have bed rest or whatever it might be, or you were in the hospital, wouldn't those things get taken care of? So you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't make any action. And yes, is it hard? Is it uncomfortable? Is it scary? Absolutely. But on the other side of that, do you want that regret? Do you want to look back in your life and go, man, I tolerated with that bullshit for fucking 20 years. I know so many people who have gotten divorced, who are getting divorced now in their 60s, in their 50s and 60s. They stay together for the kids. I can't do it anymore, Chris. So you stay together for the kids, but your kids grew up with a shitty example of how to put up with abusive men, whether it's physical abuse, verbal abuse, whatever it might be. You just showed your kids, you showed your daughter what to do. You're showing your daughter right now what's acceptable. You shouldn't stay in a relationship like this, Chloe. No. You should make sure you have good men in your life. Well, why don't you, Mom? Oh, yeah, whatever. So it's about that honesty. Here's something else for your mental health. And I find this is super important, and it's simple. Have things on your calendar, your physical calendar. When you look at your calendar, have things on your calendar that you're excited about. A lunch date with a friend, a camping trip, a trip to the beach for a bike ride, a painting and wine class, a day at the lake, a picnic on the, whatever it might be, a movie. Like, once a month, we're going to go out on a date night. Let's get with my husband. Let's get with my wife and let's go out on a date night. Let's do something different. Let's do a movie one month. Let's do axe throwing the next month. Let's go play pool the next month. Let's see a concert the next month. Let's have a picnic. How about 1 month you pick something and surprise me, and next month you pick something and surprise me? Oh, my husband wouldn't do that. Okay, then should you really be with that person? Or what do you suppose you could do or say that might inspire your husband to do that? Have you communicated? You know what? I know this is not your thing. So I tell you what, I'm going to give you 17 things that I like to do, and you can just pick one. That's all you got to do is just pick one. I like to paint and have wine. I like to go to a comedy show. I like to learn stuff. I like to take a cooking class. I like to take a dancing class, whatever it might be. Like, give your spouse a fucking list of what it is that you like to do. Arm them. Let them be able to help you, right? And it's super important when you think about your mental health. I would not be sitting here today. I would not have the knowledge and the expertise and the experience had I not read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. Right? How to influence and influence people, how to think and grow rich, the surrender experiment, the untethered soul, why me, why this, why now, the big leap by Gay Hendricks, feel the fear and do it anyway, 5 regrets of the dying, so on. The giant with awaken the giant within by Tony Robbins. All of these books that I've read multiple times, right? YouTube videos, YouTube podcasts. I watch YouTube podcasts. I take notes. I have notebooks all over the place. You go to the dollar store, you can get them pretty cheap. You can get a bunch of them and you just leave them all over the place. You get some cheap pens, you put it on there, you take some notes, you take a picture of the note with your phone, and then you take action on that, right? What are the 5 things I learned this week that I can take action on? And you make it fun and you make it a game. You get somebody involved. You get your family involved. Hey guys, this is what we're going to do. One night a week, we're going to cook together. One night a week, we're going to experiment with a new dish that's healthy. Right? I'm going to go on the Googles and I'm going to say, show me simple dishes with 4 ingredients. And we're going to get to that here in a second. I'm going to give you guys some really good stuff to take. Ask yourself this: who no longer serves my best interest? Who no longer serves my best interest? Who are you being a doormat for? Who are you being the punching bag for? Now, I'm guessing there's some people out there that are going, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. And probably you could maybe read off a few names. Now, me as a coach, working with my coaching client, the big thing we work on is tolerations. So what are you tolerating from yourself? What are you tolerating from other people? And what are you tolerating from inanimate objects? right? So what are you tolerating from the washing machine? What are you tolerating from the car? What are you tolerating from the kitchen sink that leaks or the light that doesn't go on or whatever it might be, the door that sticks? What are you tolerating from people? Well, Chris, that's just the way they are. And no, no, no. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes you have to have conversations with people that are uncomfortable. And I have had those conversations over the course of probably the last 5 years, big time. There is so-and-so who I've let go. There is another so-and-so I've let go. And there's another so-and-so I've let go. People from my life for probably about 20 years, but we don't vibe anymore. And it's not that I wouldn't be there for them. If so-and-so called me and said, hey, Chris, I need some help, I'd be there. And we would pick up just like we left off. But that was then, this is now. And that was a great movie back in the 80s, by the way. That was then, this is now. And oftentimes, if you're doing your job, you're changing. And hopefully your friends are changing too. But oftentimes somebody's changing and somebody's not changing. Somebody has an open mind and somebody has a closed mind. But yet you're still tolerating that. I got people that tolerate their friends who are mean-spirited towards different religions and different sexual orientations and da-da-da. Oh, those people shouldn't, those. Okay. Do you have people in your life that go, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with that religion, but I'm going to let them do them. They have a right to get married. They have a right to have kids. They have, right? So if you're with those closed-minded people, those people don't deserve stuff. You need to take a look at the quality of your friends because you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And misery loves company. So why are you hanging around those people? Oh, it's comfortable. It's certain. It's predictable. I don't make new friends well, Chris. Well, guess what? Why don't you make new friends well? What is it that you can do to perhaps make new friends? For me, I go to concerts. I go to concerts by myself. Oh my God, Chris, I could never do that. I can never go to a movie by myself. Why? If you tell yourself I could never do that, guess what you won't do? But if you say, you know what, I think it'd be kind of exciting to go to a concert myself. I wouldn't have the person nagging on me. I could go stand wherever I want, sit wherever I want, go get a beer whenever I want, go to the bathroom whenever I want, go get something, right? Yeah, of course. Do you want to go to a concert with somebody? I do. Yes, without a doubt. But I'm not going to stop living my life because there's nobody that wants to go see Saliva and Hinder on a fucking Thursday night. So I'm already taking myself. I got my tickets. I've been to concerts by myself. Do stuff for yourself, guys, right? What's good for your mental health? Wake up and determine every single day, what's one action that I could take by which doing so when I go to sleep tonight, I'll feel proud. I'll feel a sense of accomplishment. I'll feel like I've done something that I've said I was going to do that I haven't. Like here's the deal, guys. When you make promises to yourself and you actually fucking keep them, then you get results. And the results may not be pretty and you may not achieve them on the first try, but on the third try, you achieve them. Then you feel that like, oh my God, Chris, I never thought I could do it, but I can do it. And I've seen that. I've witnessed that so many times from the people I've coached for the last 20 years. Oh, Chris, I didn't think I could do that. Yeah, you can. You just got to take that progressive action. You have to fail your way to that success. But it all starts with that first step. So here's what I'm going to do for you guys. You may or may not be familiar with ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. There's lots of different engines out there. I use ChatGPT. I use a free version. So here's what I've done. Here's what I have done for you. If you want this, you guys can ask me for it. Send me an email, info@noexcusescoach.com, Christopher@ChristopherRausch.com. Send me a smoke signal. But what I've done is I went and I asked ChatGPT, I said, give me some prompts of how I can have better health. So if you're not familiar with a ChatGPT, you could put information in there and it will spit stuff back at you. And I use it a lot. I use it more than Google. So mental mindset, you could put in to chat, what daily habits can I adopt to reduce stress and anxiety? Give me a journaling prompts to process my emotions and improve my mental clarity. How do I create a morning routine that sets up my mindset for success? What are some proven ways to reframe negative self-talk into empowering beliefs? Suggest mindful exercises that I can do in 5 minutes or less during a busy day. That's mental health and mindset. There's physical health and energy. There's spiritual health and fulfillment. There's practical and lifestyle health. There are a ton of prompts. Chris, I don't know how to use ChatGPT. Go to Google and say, how do I use ChatGPT? Watch a YouTube video. Watch 5 YouTube videos on how to use ChatGPT as a newbie, as a beginner. What are some great ChatGPT prompts that I can input in here that will help me improve my life? Give me 5 exercises that will help improve my relationship in the next month. Be specific. Ask Google. Ask YouTube. The research, the information is there. The information is right there. So if you're scrolling on TikTok looking at cat videos, stop it. Like you can fucking really improve your life. You can change your situation. You can change your circumstances, and it may take 3 years. to change your financial situation, your marital situation, your expense, whatever it might be. But guess what? If you're lucky, those years are going to go by. And I've seen people who have let the years go by, da, 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 da. And whether I coach them or not, oftentimes, if they change, the first thing they come and run in to tell me is, Chris, I wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have ended my marriage sooner. I wish I would have left my job sooner. I wish I would have started my company sooner. I wish I would have gone on Monjaro or those GLP-1 drugs. My wife is on those. She's lost 150 pounds. Do I agree with them? Do I like them? No. But Jesus Christ, it's the first fucking thing that works, and she's going to have to take it for the rest of her life. But it's way better than her carrying an extra person around with herself on her bones, on her mental health, right? So there's things you could do. There's compromises you can make, right? But you got to take that responsibility. You got to take that into your account and do that. So if you want that list, ask me for it, or just go to ChatGPT and give me lists or give me prompts. That's what I did. I said, give me prompts that will help my listeners go to ChatGPT or go to Google and make a difference in their life. So I'm trying to make it brain easy for you, right? Okay, I'm going to give you some questions right now, some reflective questions that you guys can use. So I'll say these twice. Whose needs do I usually put before my own, and what's the cost of that? Again, whose needs do I usually put before my own, and what's the cost of that? Think about that. Here's another one. If I treated myself like someone I truly loved, what would I stop tolerating immediately? If I treated myself like someone I truly loved, what would I stop tolerating immediately? Here's another one. When was the last time I said yes to myself without guilt? When was the last time I said yes to myself without guilt? Here's another one. What would my life look like in 12 months from now if I actually made self-care non-negotiable? Ooh, talk about a commitment. What would my life look like 12 months from now if I actually made self-care non-negotiable? And here's the last one that I know you're going to love. What excuse do I use most often to avoid taking care of me? And is that excuse really true? So again, what excuse do I use most often to avoid taking care of me? And is that excuse really true? And I bet you the excuse isn't true. If you don't have enough time, you need to take a look at where you're spending your time. Because Beyonce and Shaquille O'Neal and Brad or Bill Gates and all these different people, they have 24 hours in a day. So how are you managing your time, and what excuses do you have that are not serving you? Here's some action-oriented exercises. The mirror exercise. Stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself in the eyes and say, I choose to love myself and take care of me first. And it may feel weird, right? Mel Robbins talks about going to the mirror and high-fiving yourself. But if shit ain't working right now, what have you got to lose? Go do that for 30 days. Go walk up and say, I choose to love myself and take care of me first. Here's another one, the 10-minute commitment. Pick one act of self-care today. Walk, stretch, meditate, nap, journal, whatever it is. Commit to 10 minutes. Prove to yourself you can start small and win. Like, can you afford 10 minutes to go take a walk without any distractions and just think? Just think. What's the one thing I could do today by which doing so I'll feel proud of myself at night? Here's another one. Here's one I love to give people. The no practice. Think of one obligation you've been saying yes to that drains you. Practice saying no, even if just in your journal at first, and build that muscle of boundary setting. Boundary setting. When I work with my clients, we work on values. So when you identify your top values, everything you do has to say, does this align with my values? Yes or no? Not sort of, not maybe. Does it align with my values? Yes or no? Does this person align with my values? Are they open-minded or closed-minded? I choose to be around open-minded people. I don't care what you believe in, but as long as you're open-minded and you will consider the different side of a story, then you are in my life. But if you're closed-minded and accusational and everything else, no, I wish you well. I will not tolerate that in my life. I don't. I delete them from Facebook, all that different stuff. So you got to be open-minded. I don't care if you have a different opinion. Just be open-minded and open-hearted. Here's another one, the energy audit. Write down your top 5 daily activities and put a plus if it gives you energy and a negative if it drains you. Commit to adding one more plus and removing one negative this week. And here's the last one I'll give you, your future self letter. Write a short note to your future self who has made self-care non-negotiable. Describe how it feels to live with more energy, health, and joy. And then read it every morning for a week. All of these are habits, guys. All of them are habits. All of them are realistic. All of them I've had my coaching clients do. All of them I've done myself. And I'm not perfect. And my life isn't perfect. Like, I will tell you this, yesterday, my email got lost. I had all sorts of things happening yesterday. And so it was a perfect recipe for me to react or respond. And so throughout it, I chose to respond. I chose to laugh at it and think, oh my God, how is this continuing to happen? Oh my God, I need to make some better choices, some different choices, perhaps in how I organize these things in my life. Maybe I put too many eggs in one basket. Maybe I've been asleep at the wheel and I need to take more responsibility for how I organize my passwords or organize this or whatever it might be. What's the redundancy? Do I really understand what it is that I'm doing? Because sometimes shit catches up with you and you have to learn those lessons. So think about that. So I've given you a ton of stuff. I encourage you to go back and listen to it a couple of times. And then most of all, write down what speaks to you and take that progressive action. Fail your way to success. Make the mistakes, whatever it is that you're afraid of, go out there and do it and get stronger. But by God's, take care of your 5, take care of yourself, take care of those you love. Stop tolerating the bullshit. Stop being a doormat and take that progressive action to improve your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. Okay? I will be back here next week, next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live. We have a guest next week, and it's going to be a great conversation. It's going to be enlightening for you about your mindset, about your ability to get out of your own way. So thank you for supporting. Make sure you download the podcast, rawandunscripted.com. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeart. We're on Apple. We're on Amazon. We're everywhere you get podcasts. We've done 330 episodes. So there's a ton of information there. Of course, go see my YouTube channel. There's over 1,000 videos, whether they're a minute long, whether they're 10 minutes long. There are 1,000 videos of me in there in one way, shape, or form, inspiring you to change, inspiring you to have no excuses, inspiring you to be unstoppable, inspiring you to be the rock star of your life. And I could tell you until I'm blue in the face, but you're the one that has to take the responsibility and the priority to make it happen. So that's your action, guys. Go out there and do it. I love you guys. Let me know how I can do it. No excuses, coach. Peace out.